Rick Perry is going to go on television on Face the Nation, and he's going to talk about how he loves the banks and hates the banks. What? Let the confusion ensue, and then I will clarify.
I believe in the bankruptcy laws in this country. There is nothing too big to fail from my perspective when it comes to banks or where it comes to big corporate entities. And I think Americans are fed up. I am. We're fed up by seeing Wall Street get treated specially, and you can't even get a loan from your community bank because of Dodd-Frank banking regulations. All that has to change, John. I'm telling you, Americans are fed up with that type of inside where the rich get richer and the folks out on Main Street have to pay the bills.
What are you going to do about Wall Street then?
Well, regulate them. I mean, regulate them, make sure that that doesn't happen. If they make bad decisions, let them live with those bad decisions. Don't bail them out.
What? You just told us the problem was Dodd-Frank, which is regulating Wall Street. I wasn't the only one confused by this. John Dickerson, the host, was also confused. Here's the follow-up.
All right, but isn't that what Dodd-Frank is, regulations? Well, you were just saying that was bad.
Dodd-Frank is killing the community banks. Over-regulation in that sense. There needs to be some wisdom. My home state, one of the things that we were successful with was finding that balance between protecting the citizens and allowing the freedom for folks to grow, to be able to get loans, to be able to do the things that really matter. And Dodd-Frank just codifies into place these regulations. Big banks, and they hire all the lawyers, they hire all the accountants, and then they write it off and we pay for it.
So let me explain. Rick Perry is a person, along with the rest of the Republican Party, funded by the big banks. They pour millions of dollars into all these campaigns, and Rick Perry at the same time was governor of Texas and has to sound like a populist. So he has to turn around to his voters and say, oh, goddamn big banks, Wall Street, I can't, you know, blah, 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 right? I hate them, I can't believe it, we got to rein them in, right? We got to regulate them. Now, at the same time, he doesn't actually want to do that because the people he actually works for are his donors. Financial industry gives a ton of money to the Republican Party. So when asked, wait, what are you actually going to do? Regulate them. I mean, don't regulate them. I mean, theoretically regulate them, but in reality, get rid of Dodd-Frank, which is the regulation of Wall Street. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Don't regulate them at all. There is a simple explanation. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth. They lie for money. That's what they do. They're politicians. In our system, the banks, the financial industry, the donors can just simply give them money, have them do whatever the hell they want, and their job is to come out here, in the words of Rick Perry, and do that balancing act. We've got to find a balance between me lying to the voters who hate the banks and me appeasing the banks because I actually work for them. That's the balance. That's why it seems contradictory and confusing, because that's their motivation, is to confuse you, to pretend to be against the big banks when in fact being funded by the big banks. Welcome to America.